Hello my friends, thank you for being here today. This is going to be a super fun video. I'm so excited about it. I've been planning it for weeks. I recently came across an article in the Wall Street Journal magazine, and the title of the article is Dolly Parton Still Swears by Cheap Makeup. So I am all about that, and as you know, for whatever reason, blonde icons have been showing up on my channel a lot lately. We did Marilyn, we did Barbie. Today we're doing Dolly. I gotta say though, if I interviewed her in this article, I would have dug deeper. I would have been like, now exactly what concealer is it that you use? What eyeshadow palette is it? I really would have tried to pin her down on more of those things, but what we do know is the foundation that she loves to use, and it's Max Factor Pan Stick. And I was able to order this on Amazon. It's kind of hard to find because it's just not readily available in stores anymore. But in this video, we're gonna see if Dolly's favorite foundation can go from 9 to 5. Woohoo! Working 9 to 5. But we did get a few more clues in this article as to some of the other things. At the end, they had some pictures of some certain things that were her must-haves. They mentioned the Pond's Cold Cream. That's how she takes off her makeup in the morning because she sleeps in it at night. I know, major no-no for most people, but her face, her rules. But she likes to be, I think she's called it ambulance ready in the night, so she sleeps in her makeup. They also showed this Almay mascara called Length and Lift, so I got my hands on that as well. I know from a separate article she loves the Maybelline Lash Curler. I wasn't able to get my hands on that, but also in this article she mentioned just using a lot of Maybelline period. Like she thinks that the drugstore makeup, if you know how to apply it, it can be just as good as high-end. So you know we like that philosophy here on this channel. We love Dolly. So the basis of the video, we're really just trying to talk about Pan Stick, and we're gonna put it through a wear test today and just see how it goes. But also, I looked through some of her recent pictures and I found a headshot of her where I thought, okay, let's just try to emulate that look. It's not like I'm gonna try to literally turn myself into Dolly. I know I'm not gonna do that. But I'm using that picture, I'm putting some of the pieces together, and we're gonna put together a look with the few things that we know Dolly uses and some other things that really make sense. So Max Factor Pan Stick. Again, I got mine on Amazon. I wear the shade True Beige. It really is a good shade match for me. It's a small little stick here, but she said she's used this for pretty much all her adult years, and she mentions how it is hard to get your hands on it, so you have to look various places. But it's an old school stick concealer, and let me tell you, it goes on nicely. It does have a kind of a strong fragrance that I do remember because I first used this back when I was probably in high school and Max Factor was still being sold in Walmart, and I remember trying it and thinking how my skin turned into a real oil slick by later in the day. But I tell you what, my skin handles this pretty well right now. I've been playing around with this and I've gotten through my days really nicely with my makeup, even being out in the heat and doing things outside and stuff. So it is super blendable. It's very creamy. The coverage is beautiful. Dolly is honestly not steering us wrong here. I just wish there was more accessibility with this thing. But you know how Amazon is. You can maybe get yourself like a friggin' 12-pack of these and it'll last you for several more years. But look at this, like really nice coverage, right? And it's blending so easily. I'm not having to apply a lot of pressure to the skin. And Dolly has said in many an interview that her whole beauty vibe is inspired by who she called the town tramp back when she was little. Like she thought she was just the most beautiful person. She had strong makeup and she just thought she looked really pretty, and she said, I'm gonna look like that someday. And I just love Dolly's authenticity and the fact that she could feel that way. It didn't really matter what anybody else thought. It's just a nice example that whatever you want your signature look to be, it can be that. And I also really appreciate the fact that she does like the lower cost makeup. I think that's very cool because this stick foundation, y'all, cost me about $8. And the surface of my skin, it actually does feel kind of like dewy. In terms of other stick foundations I've tried, I remember Revolution's stick foundation being even more like, I would call it greasy compared to this one. Like it went on so smooth and blended so nicely, but it had a little bit of a greasiness. This, I wouldn't actually say it feels greasy on my skin. It just blended well and I feel like moisturized. I got a lot of moisture underneath, but it's definitely not a stick that's going cream to powder. It's keeping some moisture on the skin. And then, you know, we're just gonna go into some assumptions here because I know she uses a lot of Maybelline, so I pulled out my Age Rewind concealers. And I'm gonna use my little Brightener shade here that I've almost used up. It just keeps going, kind of like Milani eyeshadow primer. And I'm going to use some of that pinky toned Brightener shade just in a couple areas on the face. And then I'll use my Fair skin tone color just right on top and right down the nose. And then I'm just going to blend this in with my Real Techniques little highlighter brush that I use for concealer. And I know this is a concealer combo I love. And I'm not certain that these are Dolly's faves, but if she uses a lot of Maybelline, I mean, this is probably one of Maybelline's all-time most popular products, the Instant Age Rewind. So getting it all dabbed in. I mean, I feel like the foundation pretty much left us with full coverage, but this is making it even fuller in some areas. And from the picture I was looking at, I thought her skin looked very matte. I wouldn't even say it looked like there was a highlighter on. So I'm going to take some Maybelline Fit Me loose powder and I'm going to set the under eye. And then I'm going to set the entire rest of the face as well with more of a skin tone matching powder. So get a little bit of that on my e.l.f. small tapered brush. And I love how in the article, you know, she's getting up and she's doing her makeup herself. And I do love that. And she's an early riser. She loves egg salad. She loves her cheap makeup. We just have so much in common, me and Dolly. Also, she likes her Folgers coffee, so I've got regular Folgers in my cup today. We're trying, folks, we're trying. Maybelline Fit Me loose powder just kind of on my T-zone and under eye area. And then I'm going to set everywhere else with my matte and poreless. And this is in Natural Beige. This is a really nice powder, by the way. I wouldn't say I love it quite as much as L'Oreal True Match, but it's a good drugstore option. See how I'm just taking this everywhere else? Really making the effort to set that foundation, which I haven't always, as I've been testing the foundation, I haven't always set it super heavily. In fact, I've, you know, just set the T-zone sometimes, not really paid attention to the rest of the face, and it's still lasted well. And it really has surprised me because this, like I said back in the day, was not a long-wearing foundation on me, and I just don't really associate it with being long-wearing. For bronzer, like I said, a lot of this stuff we're just kind of freestyling because we don't know a lot of the nitty-gritty specifics about favorites, but we're keeping it drugstore because we know she likes affordable makeup. Love hearing that from somebody in Dolly's shoes, but this is the Rimmel Natural Bronzer, just a long-standing, super affordable bronzer at the drugstore. I have it in the shade Sunlight, and I just feel like my skin really could use a boost right now, so apply this around my hairline. Just do a little bit of a contour with it. This is a really easy shade to use because it's just like not too dark, gives the skin some color. And guys, the eye look coming up in this video, it's fun. Like of all the people I could try to emulate a makeup look from in my videos, it's the 75-year-old woman who's having fun with her eye makeup and like using color and just not being afraid to really go there. For the blush and the look that I'm kind of going after, it seemed to be a cool pink. So I grabbed a Maybelline Fit Me blush that I have and the shade is called Plum. And this comes off just very cool, kind of soft pink on my cheeks. So I'm just using my e.l.f. blush brush. Color on, very pretty. Yeah, this shade is interesting because it looks like this in the pan, but it still comes off like somewhat rosy on the cheeks. It really gives you some natural looking color, and this is matte, by the way. And we're not doing highlight either because it just didn't even look like that was part of her look. Okay, blush check. And then I'm also going to use my NYX Matte Finish setting spray over everything. Ready, set, go. Good stuff. I chose this because I know it's just kind of a basic. I think it's one of NYX's best-selling items. Really trying to go for some things here that aren't too far off the beaten path makeup-wise. If she just throws out, yeah, I use a lot of Maybelline, then I'm going to keep it pretty, like, readily accessible drugstore, aside from the pan stick. Okay, so we're going to use some e.l.f. Instant Lift Brow Pencil just to get our brows in place. Even though Dolly has light blonde hair, she really makes sure the brows are still present. And I think that can keep the eye look appearing very defined, and it can look more youthful too. So I'm just filling in. This is one of my favorite little pencils. It's $2, and it just does a quick job of filling in because it's not as fine as some of the finest tipped drugstore pencils. So I've talked about this one a lot. But the whole sleeping in the makeup thing, how do you feel about that? The thing that gets me is that it doesn't really give the skin a chance to like just rest and be makeup free and take in some skincare in the nighttime hours, you know? But we also know Dolly's done a lot of Botox and stuff like that. She's been very open about it. So maybe she just kind of feels like her skin is being handled and she doesn't really have to worry about it too much on her own. But she also has her reasons, you know, she's like, you never know who's gonna come to the door or what's gonna happen, and she wants to be done up. And who am I to judge it? So here's the Maybelline Brow Fast Sculpt. Here's a newer Maybelline product that I think is a must-have. I wear it in medium brown. Love it so much because of the brush. One side has long bristles, one side has short bristles, and you're going to use the shorter side to like put product down, and then the longer side practically acts like that bare spoolie effect, you know, to help brush through. You can really help those brow hairs like kind of stand up. It's really nice, and it's got amazing hold, like some of the best hold ever. So big fan of this. If Dolly's not using it, she needs to. For the eyes, definitely going to pop on some Milani eyeshadow primer because that's just what we do here. And then looking at the picture that I've been kind of analyzing and trying to use as a means of emulating her look, I see maybe some dark teal and blue. I see some pink. I see some purple. Like, she's having fun with the look from the color perspective, whereas we see a lot of people, you know, let's just keep it light on the eyes and then throw on a big lash. She is like really having fun with eyeshadow. And I've seen her in more than a few settings where she's got like pink and blue eyeshadow on. Sometimes it's softer takes on those colors. This looks like probably kind of a red carpet picture here, and the liner is intense all the way around. So this is gonna be a little different look for me. I played with the liner this way yesterday. It's like all the way under in the waterline. She's got like a, what looks like a shimmery teal in the waterline. So yeah, I did find a little Maybelline City Mini palette that appears to contain a lot of the shades that might be used in this look, but I wasn't able to get my hands on that one. So I looked in my own collection and I found a couple of quads from L'Oreal that I think are going to contain all the shades. So this one is the Color Reach Pocket Palette in Haute Hazel, and this one is Violet Amor. I'm first gonna go to this palette, and I'm gonna go into this kind of peachy looking shade. All these have shimmer except the darkest, and these are amazing little palettes, by the way. The L'Oreal Pocket palettes are great. They've got some more neutral ones in case you haven't seen them out. They've got some softer colors for sure available, but like the textures are awesome. It was kind of nice to go through what I had and turn these up. I've also seen there's a certain Rimmel palette that has like blue and pink in it, but it's not a color scheme that's coming out left and right in the drugstore palettes. I probably could have found a hard candy one that had all these shades in it. But okay, I'm just kind of getting the crease set up a little bit there. Then I think I am seeing some pink maybe sort of rising out from the crease. So we'll go to this like soft orchidy color here, and we'll let a little bit of that mix in too. Okay, then I'm seeing definitely on the outer part of the lid something kind of bluish teal. I think I might use a mix of these two colors. First, I'm going to do the one that has a little shimmer. That might be all that I need actually there. I just really love that she enjoys egg salad too. I mean, guys, I love egg salad. I would always joke with Mom that I make an award-winning egg salad. In the spirit of doing this video, I even bought an extra dozen eggs that I'm just gonna hard boil and really get into it. Then on the lid, what I'm seeing is kind of like a pinky shade, pinky peach. I'm gonna take some of this first, and I'm just gonna dab that on the lid and sort of overlap with what I just did there. And then I might again top it with a little bit of that lightest purple shade just to bring out a little more pink. Nothing big here. I'm trying to keep it soft because this shade is actually kind of intense. Okay, so there's kind of the setup for the eye look. I don't think it really goes a lot further than that. I might take a little more of the blue, and let's work with the outer corner just under the assumption that maybe there's a bit more present than we can see in the picture. I'm gonna go into my darkest shade. I'm using my little Profusion pointed brush and getting right there into the crease and just bringing it up and out a little. We can see it's not a huge wild outer V, so I'm not gonna go too crazy, but I'm just gonna build it up a bit. And then we've got some fun things going on with that lower liner, like just a lot. It's in the waterline, it's on the lower lash line. So it seems like a lot to me, who just hasn't been really acknowledging my lower lash line in a major way in a while. Okay. So there we are. What you want to look for is anything kind of pinky peachy that you can put here, and then kind of a deep teal on the outside. We're going to start doing some liner, and then we will return to some shadow in a minute. Across the upper lash line, it's looking like a stark pure black, probably liquid liner. So I'm using this Maybelline Ultra liner, which is very old school. I had to buy this for this video just to get a Maybelline liquid liner. And I know this was a kind of liner my mom always liked because she said it never smudged. So we're going to go all the way across the upper lash line, and I'm not going to do a wing with this because it just doesn't look like it's there. And this is not a felt tip, my friends. This is a traditional brush tip. Is anybody watching Handmaid's Tale currently? Last night's episode? Oh my gosh. What a season it's turning out to be, right? I'm not going to share anything, but wow. Going across the other side, I have a little dot out of place there. Kind of stinks to do that when you're using this waterproof stay in place. Where it lays, it stays eyeliner. But just ask ourselves throughout this video, what would Dolly do? Okay, our black eyeliner all across the top. I wonder if I can just cover that up a little bit. I just put a little bit more eyeshadow on the outside. Then in the lower waterline, I can actually tell that there is a teal shimmery eyeliner there. So I found one at the drugstore. It is Infallible Pro Last Longwear Pencil in True Teal. So we are popping this in our waterline, and it seems accurate, you know, like we can see shimmer on hers, and this definitely has that. And then I'm saying it's pure black pencil all across the lower lash line. And I picked up one that I thought would end up being very long wearing. It's the Maybelline Tattoo Studio Gel Pencil Liner, and it's in Deep Onyx. So we are going to be applying this not in our waterline, but all along our actual natural lash line. From outside all the way to inside. And we're going to make sure that even the tear duct is like kind of encircled there, like, so don't leave out the tear duct. It should go all the way around. Really feeling like you're getting in between your actual eyelashes here. Then I'm going to use my little smudger brush, Sigma E21, just go over that. It can be softened just a little bit before it sets. And then we're seeing this pretty like purple happening here. I'm seeing it even more on the inner part of the lower lash line than the outer. We're going to be going into this shade, this light orchid shimmer, with the smudge brush. And look, we're just going to take it down in here, maybe pair it with a little bit of that purple that's down below, and let that come under there. Gotta say, it's kind of pretty. It's just not a combo of shades you're often seeing me in. All right, so there's that purple. Again, it doesn't appear to be going all the way to the outer lash line. It actually looks like some of that teal is hitting the lower lash line too, so I'll take some of this. Alrighty, now let's see what this Almay Lengthen Lift mascara is all about, because this was specifically pictured among her product recommendations at the end of that Wall Street Journal article. But Almay does have a history of doing some good mascaras for me. Then they have one called Get Up and Grow that was just incredible. They had the One Coat Nourishing Triple Effect, so maybe this will work. Brush looks just super traditional, kind of spiraled around brush. And, okay. It's going on pretty nicely. I read multiple articles trying to dig into more products that she might use, and somebody who was trying to like connect the dots and assume the makeup that she wore, they were like, oh, I bet she has a tube of that green and pink Great Lash in her makeup bag. And I thought, I bet Dolly's got more sense than that. Just kidding, no offense to anybody who loves that stuff, but it doesn't agree with me. This is doing quite well, actually, for length. By the way, arriving on my doorstep yesterday was the latest and hopefully greatest Essence Lash Princess mascara. It's a curl and volume version. I'm so excited to try. It's pink. So you know how they all those different ones in that line have the different color accents? Well, this one has pink. Really pumped to try that out. For this being a brand new, like, first time use of this mascara, it's doing great. Normally me and mascaras don't get to be like real good friends on the first go round, but not seeing a big lower lash from Dolly, but I may put a little bit of my Thrive liquid lash extensions down there just in case. This builds on itself well. Really good mascara, but it's looking like, I would guess she's got some form of falsies on. So I think I'm going to use my Cocoa lashes in the style Risque. So here's the eye look we have currently. I'm going to pop those on and I'll be right back. All right, so the lashes turned out a little bigger than I planned. I still think Dolly would support this. For lips, I chose a long wear one from Maybelline, one of these Superstay 24-hour lip colors here, and I have it in shade 105 because I saw she had a pretty bold pinky berry looking lip. This shade might be a little lighter than what's in the picture, but I also am going to work in a bit darker lip liner. This is Revlon Color Stay in the shade Raisin, because it just seems like there's a little dark overlined thing happening too. So first step, this is a lot like CoverGirl Outlast. You're just going to put on that first coat, not the top coat, the first coat, and then there's a balm that goes on top. It actually smells pretty good, kind of fruity. And this does last a long time because I had remnants on my lips this morning from trying this yesterday. So I even slightly overlined with that because I know it's going to stay in place. I'm going to let that dry down a little bit, and then I'll come in with the liner and then the top coat. Okay, she's got a very just precise lip line there, so we're going to go in again with Revlon Raisin. I recently bought some shades of like Revlon Color Stay lip pencils. I needed a couple deeper shades. Okay, we are officially outside my natural lip line here. That's okay. It's looking like what she did. And then we're just going to take that balm step here because it does look like she has a shine finish. That's kind of why I decided on a product like this. I think that frost just adds a little something extra. There we go, guys. Man, I really, I need a lot more layers around my face, a lot more bang to really be pulling off Dolly's actual look. But I am drinking her favorite Folgers coffee and I am going to make egg salad. But here's the face, and it's full coverage, it's matte. We had fun on the eyes. We worked in that teal, we worked in that kind of pinky purple thing. We've got the overdrawn pink lip happening. And I may not leave these lashes on all day because I've had a little irritation on my lash line and I'm sort of trying to save my eyes for Miss Illinois coming up on Saturday, in case you missed the mention of that in the last video. It's not because I'm competing, I'm an MC. As though anyone may have been confused about that. But yeah, I think this look is going to have tremendous staying power because I have been experimenting with that pan stick, but I'm going to prove it to you today. We're going to take it 9 to 5. Hey guys, we're doing a little 4-hour makeup update here. Gosh, my lip liner. I knew it was a little darker than the lip color, but it's really showing up a lot darker now. That's okay though. What I'm really paying attention to is the pan stick foundation from Max Factor. And right now I'm seeing just a little more glowiness, I feel like, all over the face because I was very matte after the application, but things still seem even. They don't seem actually broken down, not even around the nose, but I can just see a bit more shine on the T-zone than I did a couple hours ago. Eye makeup is still hanging in there. I did take off the lashes just because I didn't want to irritate my lash line. Oh, don't you love that watercolor of Bub back there? My sister's work. But yeah, overall things are looking good right now, and I will see you in a little bit. All right, we're at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Hey, you. Hello. Got the makeup on for 9 hours. I've got this little distraction back here. How long's your makeup been on for?
30 days.
I'm continuing to see even more shine, I think, on the T-zone. Now, this is no touch-up, so I haven't added any powder, but I can just see on my forehead it's looking a little more dewy. The eye makeup's really hanging in there, like that lower liner, that dark black eyeliner, the smudging we did, everything's hanging on there. The lip color, I did put on a little bit of like a tinted balm on top of all this just because it was looking real drastic between my liner and the liquid lipstick. But overall, I feel like I can still see my blush, my bronzer. Just a gentle application of some powder would make a big difference to me on the T-zone, I think. But overall, I think there's an evenness here that I'm happy enough with for this amount of wear, but we will still check in one more time. All right, gang, one final check-in after 12 hours of wear, and I mean, I do feel like there's been a little wear down overall, but I mean, the eye is hanging in there great. The lip, not touched up at all, except a little lip balm that I put on late in the day. But overall, you can tell that base color is still there. This afternoon, I went out in the blazing heat. I mean, we're talking heat indices around 100 and went for a walk. I definitely sweat. So I still don't feel like the overall complexion is that bad. In fact, I think it's pretty even. So Pan Stick serving me fairly well with my normal to dry skin. Although back in my oily days, I remember it not doing nearly as well for me. So just letting you know that for me, this stuff can go beyond 9 to 5. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys later. Love you. Bye.